Hello, hello. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining me today, just making sure I'm coming through loud and clear on all social channels. If you are joining me today is all about Men's Health Month, which we are kind of in the middle of right now, and it's Men's Health Month. Maybe for a couple of reasons. We've also got Father's Day coming up here. I see that I am live on the other end. If anyone, I don't know if anyone's actually joining me yet. If you are joining me, oh, I see two people's. Let me know if you can see and hear me on the other end. If someone could just make me a comment, I would appreciate that. And I'm going to drop a link here today about Deals for Dad happening. Oh no, I'm not. No, that's not what I wanted to show you. Hang on. I'm just sort of waiting. If anyone can tell me that you are there, I would totally appreciate it. Nada? Okay, regardless, today is about men's health and what typically happens in the world of vibration machines, which of course is my specialty. And today is about just some vibe tips. If you are a guy and you are dealing with maybe you're looking to get healthier, maybe it is about recovering from an injury or a health situation. It's not Men's Workout Month, it's Men's Health Month. And what I want to show you is some very basic functional things that are maybe not just specific to guys, but certainly things I think are important aspects of what you can use your vibration plate for to improve your overall health and fitness routine, if that's something that you're looking to do. So I was a studio owner 16, 17 years ago with these machines. And the reason that guys would sometimes come back in and use the plates was always very different than the reason maybe my ladies were motivated to come in and use the plates. So I want to talk about some of the differences today. If you're a household using a plate where there's, husband and wife and family and friends, that there's naturally different things that you're going to do as far as exercises for improving whatever your situation is that you're working on. But there are some things that I want to pay a little bit more attention to for the guys today, and things that you may be doing already. So I have a couple of notes, of course, and one of the big things I want my guys out there to think about, whether you are a guy training, whether you are a guy trainer, maybe you're a gym owner, a therapist. I was a couple of minutes late joining the call today. A very good friend of mine has a super awesome track and field kid, and he's doing a presentation tonight on whole body vibration. And it's kind of a hard thing to explain in one line or less, because there's so many amazing aspects to it. I'm trying not to get too much sun, but I don't want to sit and I'm too tall to stand. But with whole body vibration, it is, I want to reiterate for the guys joining me today, it is a tool. It is an environment that you can use to perhaps improve technique, maybe to maintain conditioning, enhance performance. And it's also really just a general excellent alternative to use through recovery and injury. I obviously recommend, if you're dealing with a recovery situation, injury situation, chronic health condition, that you don't just hop on your vibration plate and expect miracles. And vibration plate is an environment, and there's a lot of associated benefits with using whole body vibration. So sometimes it gets simplified in, I just stand there and I wake up a size 2 tomorrow and I'm all bulked up. It's not quite that simple. What a vibration plate is, and what it's best at doing, is assisting the exercise, if that's what you choose to do on it, at assisting the recovery, the warm up. And there's many ways, simply due to the nature of this technology, why it may be the ideal complement for my guys out there. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit to the floor level, because we're going to be doing some different exercises today. I was doing in my research for today's session, there's a bazillion articles out for Men's Health Month. And I just want to make sure that I'm not cutting my own head off here on camera when I get up on the plate. Yeah, I'm a little tall yet. But for Men's Health Month, there's all kinds of articles out and things that we should be doing. I'm making sure that you can see me. No, hide that one. There. There is a link also to the deals that Lifepro is offering for Father's Day. So if you are a dad, hoping to be a dad, you have a dad, or maybe you're just a dude that's been looking at using a vibration machine. I want to get rid of that link there. 15% off on certain things online. So I want you taking a look at Lifepro's main site. I've dropped a link to some of the deals for dad that you guys can take a look at. So what I have here set up today, I'm working with the Rumblex 4D, but as in all of my sessions, I'm going to be doing these exercises in oscillating movement. Oscillating moves like this. It's like a teeter-totter. It mimics how we walk. And what we're going to do today with my vibe tips for men, for Men's Health Month, I'm going to go over in all these men's health articles I was looking at online over the weekend, the top 10, the top 5, the top 20, there's all different types of top exercise positions for men. And so I'm going to demonstrate 3 of those today. They're not normally things that I do regularly on my plate. I certainly have. But if you're doing some of the exercises I have outlined today, I'm going to pull up my notes here very briefly. The first one is a deadlift. So why would I want to do a deadlift on my vibration machine? The first reason that you'd want to consider doing this on your vibration machine isn't to do your best deadlift. The last thing I want you doing, if you can deadlift 250 pounds, is doing it on your vibration plate. What I recommend using your plate for is improving the technique of that deadlift. So if you're just learning how to do a deadlift, if you are working with a trainer, you're a trainer teaching deadlifts, one of the big things that can make any exercise most effective is good, solid technique and building that foundation of having good technique and progressing within the exercises. The last thing you want to do is spend all your time, I don't like to use the word wrong, let's say incorrectly or not optimally. I think there's better words to describe because there's always benefit to exercising, but the last thing you want to do is get into a routine of doing things not as effectively as you could, causing yourself strain or injury and kind of having detrimental effects to what you were trying to accomplish in the first place. So laugh as you will, I have a very inexpensive item. For those of you that do not own a barbell, this is an expandable curtain rod. I don't care if you use a broom. I want you to find around your home a large stick. If you are a man or a woman and you have a barbell set at home, just work with the bar. There's weighted bars out there you can use, and we're going to simply be using this to make it feel like we're deadlifting, but less all the weight. So again, we're working on technique on how to do these exercises on the plate. I'm going to come back to some questions because it's really hard to read this far away. Again, if anyone is there watching me, please let me know that you can see and hear me. Give me a thumbs up and let me know where you're joining me from. If you are a guy looking to use your plate that's sitting in the corner and you haven't been so diligent, perhaps someone in your household, your wife or your girlfriend, your kid is using a vibration machine. I work with a lot of diverse types of people on these machines. I'm fortunate to have the experience that I do. And I often find the number one reason my guys like to use a vibration machine is actually for recovery, training through injury. And a lot of my guys out there that are doing performance training, athletics, those type of things, with experience and being a little bit brave, because this isn't necessarily everybody's cup of tea, as far as the mentality, the stigmas behind a vibration machine, these jiggly machines. But what it is it's an environment. It's an environment that's going to improve your technique, and it's going to give you more benefits than doing these exercises on the floor. Just the nature of the technology. You're going to have better core stability, better posture. There's things that just by nature of your body stabilizing itself on this surface while you're going through the movements of these exercises that add to the exercise itself. So with a deadlift, You know, you want to make sure that your legs are staying as upright. If you ever watch like big bodybuilding, like the weightlifting competitions, you'll notice when they're lifting the bar, one of the first, you'll see sometimes even scrapes. I don't want you scraping your shins, but I want to make sure you don't look like this when you're doing your deadlift. The whole goal of a deadlift, it's kind of like the super squat of all squats. Nothing incorporates more muscles. For you guys, why are deadlifts good? Well, according to many of the articles out there, and from my own experience, the more muscles you can engage, the more testosterone you're boosting and bringing out. And a vibration machine also has studies to boost that as well. So if you're looking to build muscle mass, you're older in life, and you'll notice, you know, the 70 plus guys out there where the muscles aren't as plump or as full as they used to be, this is a great technology to simply activate more muscles while they're trying to stabilize you on this while you're doing your thing. So I do not do deadlifts regularly. I'm sure every trainer out there is going to have a few things they can say about this. But what I want you focusing on to start, if you've never done a deadlift, Google a video. I'm sure Amber and Roseanne have done some specifically to this, but have something that mimics how holding that barbell, and you want to keep the barbell itself fairly close to your body. And the whole goal is you're kind of starting, depending on how low you can go in your squat, but I want you keeping a nice straight back. You're probably not coming right down to the surface of the machine. Keep the heels planted. You're pushing up through the heels and come up slowly. The key to a good deadlift, of course, is being able to squat deeply. If this is too advanced for you, you got crappy old knees or ankles, this probably isn't a good starting exercise, but certainly something to work towards. Okay? For those of you that have, you know, Debbie, I've done this before on my plate. It's, you know, if you are not exceeding your plate weight, so your plate can take like, you know, 350 pounds, 260 on the mini. I'm walking around at about $1.25. I could probably add 10, 15 pounds. You can add weight while you're standing on your plate. I caution you not to do your full ability, but maybe you want to add a little bit of mass just to pick things up. So if you do have a barbell, perhaps you got a couple of the awesome click weights. These are 10-pound sandbags that I was fortunate enough to inherit from a studio back in my day. And so if you do have the confidence and you've been doing these type of exercises, you know, mimic. You'll notice when you're on a vibration plate with your barbell is there's another stability challenge. You'll notice the wobbling, and it's just a really good way to improve that technique, but just use a little bit of weight. Again, it's not about pushing to your max. It's just about improving your function, improving your stability, improving that posture, doing this exercise that you're probably doing on the floor now, many of my guys. I'm just going to open the window. It is toasty in Alberta, Canada today, finally. Okay, so that's the deadlift. I think my nephew can deadlift about, I don't know, 300 pounds. You know, he's pretty fit and goes to the gym. If you're working on technique and there's areas that you really want to focus or target on, a vibration plate is a perfect environment to boost not only your performance, but, you know, the technique and how you use or how your technique's going to look at the gym when you're in that real situation. So it's a great tool to complement the workout, and doing it in the fashion that I just did is also a really good way to warm up. Perhaps you do before doing your real deadlifts, or not or, but afterwards as a recovery piece. So again, just make sure that when if you're not looking up how to do some of these exercises, or you've never done them before, just make sure you look up some technique. Don't over challenge yourself with too much weight. The more that bar drifts away from your body, the more you're going to put stress on the lower back and the knees. Keep those heels planted. And if the range doesn't allow you to go as low as I was showing today, just work within your range of motion. Add the challenge once you kind of understand where you're going with that. The next one is a back squat. So I'm going to go over a back squat next, using, again, my lovely curtain rod. This is also going to hit almost every major group in the body. It's awesome for leg development movements. Any athlete out there will obviously talks about the squat. It's going to help them run faster. It's going to help you jump higher. It's going to keep increasing your strength overall. And again, the testosterone release thing is key for the guys out there. So with this one also, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to squat low enough, or as I can't state enough, you're working towards that. And this one is really important as well to keep those knees in alignment. Heels are planted, you're pushing up through this exercise. So we're going to go do this one now. I want to make sure. This one's an easy one to add on, whether the range of motion is there to do the deadlift I showed you. This one's usually a little bit more manageable because you're starting in an upright position. What you want to do with this one is take it, tuck it up behind the neck. I've done this one with a broom handle or sticks many times in my studio, just as a warm-up. It's a really great way to improve posture. I add this to my pelvic tilts. But really, what a back squat is you're simply holding this in the position that I'm in. You want to keep good posture. Your weight is on the heels. And this really depends on your range of motion. Again, right? The deeper you can go, the more functional, the more effective this exercise is going to be. If you're dealing with troublesome joints, inflammation, maybe you're not moving up and down. Maybe you're just bending deep and holding still. Make sure that those abs are engaged. And as those abs are engaged, as I'm talking, you can feel in your exhale, it's almost like your diaphragm is pushing against those engaged muscles. Keeping those heels planted. Again, I don't want you shifting forward. It's a way that your body kind of cheats on the vibration machine, but also on the floor. Just happens quicker on the machine. And again, with this one, if you are comfortable, you want to add a little bit of weight, that's entirely an optional thing on your part. If you're just starting out and you're only able to get to maybe a bit of a mid squat, hold still. Make sure on this one the knees aren't doing this kind of thing. You want to make sure those knees are in alignment with the feet as you go lower, okay? Most of you, if you're using your awesome Lifepro vibration plates, would have gotten mini bands. That's something you can certainly add to the knees to add to the stability, makes you aware of where those knees are and stops them from collapsing. That's a common mistake on this exercise. Again, these are just little tips. You can add these into your routine. Debbie, what speed setting are you doing these on? These ones be on camera. I'm always doing them slower so you can see me, but I would say probably a low to mid range. What's really going to drive it is the distance between your feet. So if you like a wider foot position and you're incorporating weight, the slow speeds tend to be very choppy, very destabilizing. And depending on the type of your exercising, that's a good goal. You don't want to go top speed, but you want something that forces you to stabilize yourself without feeling like you have to fight and resist the machine just to stay stable. So the distance between your feet changes the intensity, the amount of movement. So start functional, hip width apart, and I would say at a mid speed, depending on what your experience is on your machine so far. The last exercise, laugh away if you will, is going to be a little bit interesting. I'm going to do a bench press using my vibration plate. Again, I'm not doing just the bench press. I am doing going through the motions and just basically using the vibration machine as a tool to improve for my guys out there that do bench press. I'm not seeing any comments here today, which is rare. If you are there joining me, please let me know. I had some viewers. I hope you're not having technical issues on the other end. No, it looks like I'm coming through. Well, I'm just going to keep rambling. Okay, so for the bench press, this one's a little bit different. I am using the Lifepro Aeroflex step with the feet attached. And depending on the height of your body, okay, I'm going to be laying kind of from the underside of my ribs to my shoulders on the step for support and structure. I recommend using a hunk of your yoga mat or one of the mats that may have come with your machine, just to give the shoulders and the back itself a little bit of cushion on this if you're sensitive. How I line up for this exercise is I sit down on the plate. The buttons are always between my legs when I'm doing this, so when I get into my massage, I'm not like speeding it up or turning it off. And what we're going to do with this one, again, depending on the length of your torso, you might need a little bit of space between the step and the machine. But I want you laying down. Your feet are on the floor. And I would recommend just putting your feet flat on the floor, not extending them out. We want to make sure you have a little bit of structure in that low back. And all we're going to use the machine for is a little bit of destabilization of the core while we're going through the movements of that press, okay? So for this one, because we're sitting our bum on it, again, we're just in oscillating, which is your first movement, the side to side, that teeter-totter. You can do any of these exercises in any program, any setting. It's more important that you're doing the proper exercises with good technique and aligning those with your goals. Settings are very much a preference. They're a way to mix it up and maybe keep the exercises the same, but keep the challenge of change going on your body. So this one, I'm just doing in a lower speed range. My glutes and my low back are just resting on the plate itself. My upper body from the underside of my ribs, I like to have somewhere for my head to rest on this. I'm going to take my trusty dusty curtain rod, and we're just going to simply go through these movements. Now again, I'm not using weight. We're not adding a lot of body weight to the exercise. So this is one you could weight up a little bit more if you're experienced, because the majority of the weight that you're adding to the position is off the machine. So if you feel comfortable and stable getting this low on the ground and you wanted to weight up a little bit more for this particular exercise, you go ahead. My sister told me she's able to bench 135 pounds this morning, or yesterday morning. Good for her. For those of you ladies out there working in this fashion, a lot of times our upper bodies are very different than our male counterparts. Our power tends to be the legs and the glutes. So this might be a great way to work on that technique, the breathing, just to get the position solid before you progress to it at the gym. Especially if you're dealing with a recovery or a post-surgery situation. I talked a little bit earlier about maintaining conditioning and athleticism. Maybe you're at a point where you want to be and you just want to maintain, or due to an injury or surgery or other therapies perhaps you're doing, you kind of need to take the intensity out of your workout. You can go through the same movements, remain functional in these exercises, and return to the mass and adding more of it once you're in a situation to do so. So I hope that gave you some cool ideas to play around with. Like I say, everywhere I seem to look online tonight or yesterday had all these men's health exercises that you could be doing. I just wanted to show you a way to get your imagination going a little bit, if you will. You are only, as I always say, limited by your imagination and your range of motion. So we started with the deadlift, we did the back squat, and we did the bench press. Those were just 3 variations using the Rumblex Plus today. These type of, it's not a how often, when should I do these? If you're doing these types of exercises now, you're conditioning, the technique is there, and you want to add a little bit more challenge, a vibration plate is a great way to do that. For any of my competing athletes out there, it's a great tool to practice your positioning on. I have had the pleasure of working with many competitive builders over the years, and just going through the movement and building up the stamina and the core and going through the fundamentals of those exercise positions while on the environment of your exercise or your vibration plate is just going to take you to a whole new level. So cool. That was fun. Again, I'm not really seeing a lot of comments from any of you out there. If you do have a question, please let me know. I would be more than happy to answer it at this time. If you are looking for something to change up the routine, you're a guy and you've been thinking about one of these shaky plates. Again, it doesn't necessarily replace the gym or the routine, but it certainly can enhance a lot of the disciplines that you're doing now. If you're dealing with joint pain, fatigue, perhaps, my guys out there dealing with cardiac issues, a vibration plate is an awesome way to increase the benefit and the capacity of the benefit you're going to get from exercise by reducing the amount of time you spend doing these exercises, and also further reducing impact on troublesome joints and things like that. So it's a great tool whether you're dealing with an aging body, an injured body, a recovering body, a body just getting off the couch for the first time. You can certainly use your vibration plate to improve your technique and make the time and effort you're doing now ultimately more effective. So thank you for joining me. Up to 15% off with Lifepro. I've dropped the link. If any of you have any questions after the live, please tag me at Debby with a Y. Sometimes if there is a bit of chatter, I get lost in the comments if you don't tag me specifically. So, and if you are watching the recorded version and have questions, please, I invite you to do that. If you're looking for some ideas for dad, you've still got a week. If you're just looking at something for yourself and you just want a good deal, 15% off is pretty sweet. So take a look at the link and see what might be available to incorporate into your routine. I hope today gave you some good ideas, not just for those of you that are looking at a vibration plate for the first time, but if you have one now and it's collecting dust, don't beat yourself up because doing your workout. Just adding a couple of things throughout the course of the day, whether it's from a start your day for a couple of minutes or winding it down, it's going to add so many wellness benefits to your. We're all a little bit more active when the sunshine is out and the weather is a bit better. So there's no need to suffer in those activities, and you can certainly keep the lymph and the circulation and the sleeping and the pooping and all those other things that have improved with your plate going. Don't stop using, but certainly it's a good time of year to reduce and just do some wellness and some alternative stuff in complement to your other activities. Have a great Monday. I will see you all again next week. Same time, same place. I'll be 4:00 p.m. for the remainder of June. And I look forward to seeing you next week again on Lifepro and on the VIP group. Don't work too hard. Have a great rest of your week, guys.